we're all going Hellbound. Okay, we have a full panel tonight by the looks of it. It's good for those in the UK, November the 5th. I hope you had a good Guy Fawkes night. Everyone was safe, fireworks went off, and nobody got burnt in the bonfires. If you're in the States, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but in the UK, it's quite a big thing. I'm in to start off tonight with, and basically they're going to hand it over to George, obviously, and Stu, and they're going to run with it, and then basically I'll nip back in and finish the show off at the end, basically, because I'm in the midst of doing something myself personally. But there's plenty to talk about tonight. So we've got the Tide Runner, obviously, the Tide, both hulls for the Tides, the Harlock version, obviously the standard version as well, and obviously we also had the preview that was on yesterday for the new base hull as well. So we've done quite a bit of math on that already. So I think George will probably lead with that. But first off, then we'll just say hello to the panel. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Hello.
Good. There's a good bunch in tonight, actually, and some new faces as well. And it's good to see Specs in tonight as well. I'll pull out Specs. Tito is a regular. George is obviously a regular. Eric's been in a few times. Imri's been in a few times. Paul's been a few times. I can see. Is that Nitu? Have I said that really badly? Have I?
Yeah, I was not sure how to.
I
don't know how to pronounce it.
Nitu. Anyway, and Specs. You should know Specs, everybody, because obviously he runs the page that George tries to blog on quite often. Badly or goodly, I don't really mind. Depends how you want to see it, really.
Yep.
But it's Specs' page, okay. So it's good to see you, buddy. What the hell's in as well, and as I said, Tito as well. So that's good news. Right. So, where do you want to start? Pick a subject.
I want to see how many of the panel were on the test server actually, and see what their takes are on the test server. New hull, test server. What do y'all think on it?
I didn't get on the test server, so.
Did you guys get to watch at least some of the videos and the streams? Because
I could see
a lot of the
TSM because due to that you guys are changing in the United States, the hour I think is today. I thought you would be doing like in Euro last week, so when I got there, I was 1 hour late, so all the logins were taken, but I could see TSM
on the thing.
Show.
I think this
interesting.
I think this hull has a lot of versatility. One of the things that was brought up a couple of times was that people were afraid that it was going to be able to get daisy cuttered very quickly. I spoke with Specs earlier about it. We were covering it and talking about it. And the one thing that we have to remember is that daisy cutter, the damage is cut in half, as well as the deflection when you're doing the calculations. So it comes out to just over 3 daisy cutters if there's no armor on the hull at all. So it's not going to be something that can be easily, sniped right away. And with the armor, I'm not sure. Specs, did you figure out how many daisy cutters it would take with the armor or not?
If you stay away from the bulkhead armor, you're looking at about 4. If you do the radioactive deflection plate, or whatever, I think that's the one with the 5,000 radioactive
deflection plate 4, yeah.
Yeah, deflection. Yeah. If you put that on there, it's just over 4.
Over 4 daisy cutters?
Yep.
So you only save one daisy cutter. If you do the
bulkhead, you can get up there farther, but then you're really taking your repair times
way up the roof. Right. So I mean that's probably part of the balancing act that you're gonna have to do with this hull is, how much repair time versus how much do you want? Because I mean, look, honestly, people have in the past taken 8 daisy cutters or 6 daisy cutters and come in to prep out stuff to come hit the base. And if you're using this because of the range, I mean, it has some incredible ranges with some combinations. I think it has the longest missile range in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use that to set off everything else that you have in your guard, it's something that someone might want to prep out. So it's something to keep in mind when you're trying to set up your base using this. However, that being said, it also offers probably the most versatile hull in terms of weapons that we have right now.
And bear in mind, that wasn't the final version. It may change yet.
Yes,
that was a
that's
preview.
True.
It's not set in stones. Everything's due to change. Okay, good reminder there from Laredo as well. That's as it sounds at the moment. That was the preview. It isn't the final version. So it was a preview test and that sort of stuff. And obviously, we'll get the final version as the raid is released.
Right. Do you guys have any other things that you've noticed about it or opinions on it?
The final build, is it going to be with thermal or any idea on that?
I don't think anybody can say that for certain. They haven't said.
Yeah,
they're not gonna release that until the
The raid.
Yeah.
For the raid, yeah.
Yeah, those were just initial starts. We don't know how it's going to end, but honestly, there are a few things that lags, like the not having thermal. We don't know. It's unreactive. That's something that I thought was a weakness for it. And
Well, it can't
the
be a
fact
super
of
hull. I mean, we don't want to have a super hull come back into the game. So I can see it having some weaknesses. You know what I mean?
Well, it has a couple of weaknesses, doesn't it? Because obviously missiles kill it quite quickly.
Explosive, it destroys it quite fast as well.
Explosive is quite reasonable once you get in there and find something that can tank against it. But obviously concussive, it's darn solid against concussive. We did some one-on-one shootouts, didn't we, in the preview? And it held its own. In fact, you'd have just timed out just trying to kill it even with 4 ships. So
Really? That's good.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I noticed when I was watching it. Depending on the builds going against it, it was tough.
Definitely. Yeah.
It was tough. I do think that it needs a little boost in explosive deflection and missile deflection. Maybe not too much, to make it unkillable as such, but it was definitely a little bit on the weak side to those two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, though, they've also come out and said, I mean, Kix has said that they want to have one of those like puzzle type things, even with the PvP. You can't have, like, they don't want to have a 5 fleet revenge coming in and killing, bases. That's not what they want. They want some sort of back and forth between the entire base type setup and the fleets that you would use.
Yeah, definitely. No, sorry, Agni, mate. I didn't realize that was you in the forum as well, mate. Sorry, I didn't realize that was your.
Right.
I didn't realize that was your name, mate. It's all right. I got it now, bud. I recognise your voice first, so that's good news. Welcome, buddy.
That's all right. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I must admit. I mean, I think it's for a defense hull. I think it's got a lot of flex. I think it's quite versatile, and I think it's gonna give some people some imagination. It can move very slowly. So it's not a sitting duck. There's no thermal. But again, I don't think we need another thermal ship. I think we've got enough there. So I think we can probably, as Ren noticed, if you put it a bit further back in your base, you still can't get subbed out with the stuff in front. Not unless they want to come and bubble you already. So a little bit of sort of like clever engineering. And I think it's going to do very well. But it'll be in the second, third of your guard setup if you split it into 3 pieces like most people tend to do.
Yeah. And, I think they might not have put in the thermal because we also have the Harlock's Tideseeker coming out. So that might mitigate how many people can actually ghost out a base now without getting sniped themselves. So.
Well, they'll run the risk of being caught.
Yes.
Yeah, just don't sit still. That's as simple as answer.
Yeah, it's always a thing, right?
I think that's unbelievable. I finally win my Ghost Crawler and build it, and they bring out something to swat it. It's just my luck.
No more parking outside your base.
Yeah.
I still need 21 shards for the Ghost Caller, so I'm even farther behind than you.
I think I'm the farthest behind on the panel right now. I still need like 100, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I need a bunch.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Still 5
I wasn't
months.
trying. Long way to go. Long way to go. So, do we use this as a segue into the Tideseeker and Harlock's Tideseeker, or do you guys have any other observations or comments?
I have one observation on the new Defender hull that I don't see many people mentioning. It has that 45 aura or tactical field or whatever it is. I'm not really sure yet. But it's 45 range, and it gives bonuses to damage and reload on every weapon type.
Yes, and
So
it
if
also triggers
self-triggers,
Yeah,
Yeah,
self-triggers and
self-triggers.
triggers the res cap.
So, like in my base on the preview server, I had it positioned next to one of my vanquishers, and spites. I mean, just about everything was getting evaporated when they came up along that ship and the vanquisher together.
Right.
And I had another one behind that one with countermeasures.
Yeah.
So they were feeding off of each other. So I think the one behind it was feeding it in front, along with the Vanquisher.
Well,
turning.
you get a double stack that way, because I was thinking, like we were talking yesterday, and I was thinking of putting a Hollock Citadel in between two of them, or in between that and a Vanquisher, and that way the Harlocks would get a double stack on a res cap on top of the damage buff of this hull. So that would be rather interesting to see. I mean, that should do some serious damage, and might actually bump the Hollocks with judgments over the minimum damage and actually over the deflection of some combos. So yeah, that's one of the things that this hull is very versatile with.
I think they've this hull as a defender, they've given it amazing attack ability, but yeah, as some of you guys mentioned, I think the defense stats definitely need a boost. Like if you look at the deflections as compared to the attack hulls which come in and their damage type, especially like missile, yeah, the deflections definitely could have been better. I'm not saying to make it such where it cannot be broken at all, but if it's not placed carefully, this hull can be taken down. Like for a defense hull, it should have had better defensive capability.
I think they did it on purpose to keep that balance. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure that's what they were aiming at. It just depends.
I do have another little issue with the hull.
Oh,
well, it's more the weapon actually. I mean, it's a pretty well-rounded hull. I mean, if you think about it like this, you've got 50% ballistic range, 10% missile, giving it the highest missile range in the game so far, 10% concussive, 25% rocket, and 10% radioactive as well. Which means that you could literally load it up with any combination of weapons that you saw fit to load it up with. But the one that is being released with, the scattergun, is 85 range, if I'm not mistaken, with no boosts whatsoever. All right, now every weapon that you're likely to be facing up against outranges that, so you now need to find a way to force them to rush that ship. So that's quite difficult, and it's quite a significantly lower range than every other weapon that you're going to face.
Right, but if you want to sit there and pick it off, say it's one of your front lines to set off your Hollocks, okay? You put some scoria on that, right?
Oh no, yeah, I agree with that.
106. So you're either gonna have to sit under the Hollocks barrage, or you have to run into that weapon on that hull. I mean, I think they're. How's this? I think they're trying to come up with a good balance with a lot of the stuff without breaking the game. Whereas in the past, they broke the game with hulls, and I think they're very cognizant of that now. And someone's getting a call. Eric.
Hello?
Yeah.
I can take care of that. Oh, Tito beat me to it. All right, damn it. Damn it, Tito. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, and the thing is we're still going off of just what we've seen on the test server, and everyone's coming up with, a lot of different aspects to this hull, which is fantastic. I think that's one of the hallmarks of a decent design on the hull.
I mean, the hull's not finished yet anyway. It's all subject to change. So, we might see extended range on the new weapon. We might not. We might see some added defense stats somewhere. We might not. We don't know. But, I mean, as it stood in the server, I wasn't, very, very impressed with it. I think it definitely had a job. But, I mean, maybe with added thermal, I probably would have been more inclined to use it as a front line. But with, no thermal, I'll probably use it as a backline tank.
But would you say that it's definitely something that you would want to have in the toolbox? Would you pass it up?
Yeah, I mean, I like to collect everything anyway because, I just collect everything. I'm a blueprint whore of some kind. But I think it might have a use. It depends, really. I mean, it gets rid of the retribution I'm currently using in my base. I'll replace that with that.
So, yes.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll probably go with 2 or 3 myself.
Really?
Yep. Just from what I saw on the test server and the generality of the hull, I'm thinking 3.
I mean, well, like I said, it has a wide variety of options that you can combine it with. Yeah. Like I said, it's got the radiation, the whole works. So, yeah, I mean, it could be useful.
Yeah, it could. Like, I'm going to replace the retribution in my base with 1. I tossed a Tiger Shark in there again because of the Harlock Revenge. I don't know what happened with that hole or the Revenge themselves, but I had to throw that back in there, so that'll be gone. And then I'm either gonna replace the Fury that I got in there or the Harlock Citadel, depending on if I'm doing the weekly or not. So I'll have between 2 and 3 in my base.
Are you going to have them sitting close enough to each other to feed off of each other?
Yep. Yeah, I'm
residency.
redesigning my layout right now so I can fit all 3.
Take advantage of it, yeah.
Yep. And then on top of that, I think that if you're a low to mid-level player and you don't have anything better than the Enforcer yet, so let's say you just started playing the last 2 months.
It's a good way to step up.
Right. And because the hull itself, I mean, there's just so much you can do with this hull. I mean, if you only have launchers, you can throw launchers on it. You're at 103 range. You can toss your rockets on there.
With missiles, I think. With missiles, I think Heffa came out with 106 or something.
Yeah, 106.5.
106.
106.5. Yeah, I mean that's you reaching out and touching someone with that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the other issue as well that I find to the whole. I'm really hoping that they stick with a 1 combat speed or a 0 combat speed, so I don't end up with broken base designs. I mean, because if someone gets hold of that and uses that as a spotter, 106 range could literally break designs. So.
Yeah,
that's true.
We were trying to figure out how to get it actually to get some speed.
if you work your specials, I think you can reach 25. So it's going to be fast, and you will not see it getting in the channel maybe, but it can break the bases at some point.
Well, I put an engine during the test server on there, and it didn't move from 1 combat speed. So I'm thinking that 1 is a set number.
Well, it's also I think
know.
almost all of the specials are percentage based now too. So you're not going to really have much of anything added on a 1 when you're multiplying it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think you're actually going to get much higher than maybe 2 or 3. And with 2 or 3, I don't see you making it to your target before you either 1 time out or 2 it dies.
Right. So that's the new hull. It's I think it's actually a pretty good job so far from what I've seen from Kixeye. And now I will use that segue into the Tideseeker and the Harlock Tideseeker that's coming out. You guys all have done the TLC, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's it.
What did you guys think?
I'm very happy with it, honestly. I think it was very easy. The first stage, very easy if you had that Apollo, or if you had any of the fleets that you could be using during the last raid type. And
I think Ren did it with MCXs and Rhinos or something like that. I mean, he used some really low level fleets to do the first level.
So I think he did something like that. I didn't see the video, but I saw the title and I saw those names on. Right. And and if you put some invest on time because you got plenty of hours to do the first stage, so you could even put the fleets to repair and get back to it. You could get, and as you have proven and others have tried it as well, it's a good time for the Forsaken mission. So for those that are still struggling to get the tier 5 is going to be a good help. So just doing that, and if you need to do the chores, those river armadas to get those fragments and base and ship parts and alike, I have been playing with it. I don't have a skillet one, and with a single one you can do any of the 3 and you get ridiculous amounts of damage, so you can play.
I actually made a video with one Tideseeker that was not ranked. Actually, let me touch on that later. Let me first ask, any of you guys that have alliances or alliance leaders, have you explained to the people in your alliance, especially if they don't have Punishers, to grab this Tideseeker? Because from what I've found in testing, it is a very, very versatile hull in terms of chores.
That's what I found.
Yeah.
It's very, very useful as far as being a tank in the FM.
Yeah, I've done 109s. I've done all the armadas. I have videos of everything up. I actually, on request, was doing 109 with just citadels behind it, no no Kodiak, no nothing, and that I'll actually post that up later on tonight. But I think for the ease that this hull is, I mean, like Tito said, if you put some time into this is a gimme hull from Kixeye. I would suggest everybody get the hull at least. If you can do Prize Pack 1, you can probably pull off Prize Pack 2 as well, if you plan it out a little bit, and that way you can get the concussive reciprocator, which is a fantastic gun for this hull. All my builds.
I kind of cheated on mine. I mean, I ran through the first 2 tiers with my Apollos, and then up to level 6 with Apollos. Went in again with Apollos and killed all the ships, and then went in with subs and just destroyed it.
You used scatterguns to finish off the 7th one and the 3rd tier?
Yeah, I found a lot of people in my alliance were not trying it with the wrong hulls, and after I got those guys, thinking the right way and using the Apollos, that you could do the whole campaign in slow repair and get Apollos and a Tiger Shark scattergun fleet, or you could also do it with a mortar fleet.
Yeah, I actually was telling a lot of the people, especially the lower level players in my alliance, not to even worry about Prize Pack 3. I mean, it's tokens and all that stuff, and it's great. But honestly, if you need the hull, if it's one of those things that you need, and you're not hitting tier 5 yet, and you can't do some of the Reaver targets to get subs and all that stuff, if you're trying to get those shards, Prize Pack 1 and 2. Just concentrate on Prize Pack 1 and 2. Get the hull, get the concussive reciprocator, and just have that. Because once you get that, you have a good, solid foundation to start breaking into the rest of the game with it.
Now, quick question there, George. Are you running that with or without the Bullseye crew?
Without. I used a Sea Serpent's crew with the Harlock Citadel, and I got some stupid, like 40-something minutes of damage. Without the Harlock, and I did just regular 3 Citadels, I think I pulled 58 minutes of damage, something like that.
Oh, that's nice.
On just
Specs,
what's that?
If you scroll on the Forsaken Council, I saw a video there that you could see the guy using the Bullseye Brigade, and he was doing, I think, for 10 minutes of damage.
Right.
And I think that Laredo that's here on the chat, he said that he was doing on auto 1 or 2 109s just tank. So it has if you invest some time working on the build, you can achieve good things.
Well, the 10-minute video, the thing is he built it to do that with the Bullseye Brigade because he had absolutely no missile resistance on it. And like I've said before, because I've gotten some stupid times with the Bullseye Brigades too, I don't think that's a viable, good way to plan on doing your chore. I want to do it because really simple.
Then you're just relying on the crew.
Right. Right, and I don't want to teach players. If I'm trying to get someone to get up to tier 5, I don't need a gimmick. I want them to have a solid build to go there and do it. Has anybody?
Yeah.
I mean, have you all built any of the Tide Seekers and tried them out and stuff?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
What'd y'all find?
Yeah, we did quite a lot of testing on the map today, in fact.
Yeah?
Just different fleets, which just one-on-one with all kinds of fleets, like Enforcers, Vanquishers, Retributions. That's just a no-no. If someone's guarding a base with Tide Seekers, like it was a fleet of 4, and 2 Retributions I had just decimated that fleet. Because they've got no radioactive defense or deflection or nothing. So if people are guarding it, it's kind of stupidity. You just take in Retributions and game over. And they don't even dent the Retributions.
Yeah, but the Retributions are stronghold anyway. It's all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's,
So what would you guys do?
it's nice to see you've tested it, to be truthful with you, but the Retribution against the whole probably isn't a good, without being rude to yourself, it's probably not a good test, because Retribution is... It is still a very versatile hull for very, very a lot of chores on in the game at this particular moment in time. Or I'm finding that.
But get in mind that GD Raikkonen came the other day in a show and said that they are working on scripts to prevent you from using those PvP fleets to engage into the PvE target. So the retribution days are close to be over. I don't know if it's going to be next week, next month.
I don't use it. I use
From what I heard, because I
was passed a note actually from Rakin regarding that, and that as far as the raids go and being specific targets for the raids, that I was misled in thinking the raid cycle that there would be specific targets per class of hulls, and what I was told, and I may be wrong, but it'll be at least May if it even happens.
On what? Because I don't think the thing that he was talking about the other day, because I wasn't actually in the conversation, I had heard about it secondhand, but it's something that was spoken towards before. I think what they're discussing, or what's been discussed, is the blocking of Conqueror hulls in PvE shore stuff, like going into the FM. It's been rumored several times that they were going to stop that because of some of the things that you can take advantage of in the game. I don't know that it's. I mean, I'm fairly confident it's going to eventually happen. I don't know if it's on a schedule or not. From what I heard, Rakin had actually said that the code is written already. It's there. They just haven't put it to use yet. So I don't know if that means anything or what. But I'll say, I built my sits. I built my citadels well ahead of that because of the rumors.
Right. And I think people still should for that reason. But I think we should be unsure of what direction it's going right now. And I'll just leave that at that.
Yeah, I have no idea. They haven't said anything officially. Go ahead.
If they plan it that you cannot, if they plan it such that you cannot use it in, say, like you said, Forsaken, the mission that we do weekly, you won't be able to use a Fury or any kind of a Conqueror hull. Would that in effect also, would it affect, player versus player battles?
It should
not. That would just take away a fun, then that's fine, because it would just take away a fun aspect of the game if that was to, if it just targets, then it's fine. Like mines or Forsaken mission.
Conqueror stuff is supposed to be for PvP, however.
Yeah.
So I don't see them blocking that.
They want to limit it just to using non-Conqueror hulls in the main thing would be the Forsaken mission. Mines and stuff, it's all right. It does work in mines, but I guess that will go as well.
I think what they're actually going to try and do is mitigate people. I mean, it's not really a bug, but it's taking advantage of the math on the repairs of the Conqueror hulls. So, it's almost kind of like on the edge of an exploit, but not, because they kind of gave it to us and we decided to use it. So I don't know. I just don't want to be caught not being able to do my FM because they decided to change it and didn't give us a heads up. I mean, hopefully they'll give us a heads up. I don't know. Again, it's like I said, it's rumored.
I've already started working on my citadels now. I used my vendettas for quite a while, but I figured I should probably build the citadel so I don't get caught with me pants down.
Yeah.
If they do effectively do that, then what do you have for a tank? You go back to a Punisher. You won't have any other.
Tideseeker will still work.
No, I use Tideseeker.
Yeah, that will definitely as
Punisher
go-to hull because of the repair, which is, I think, way better than what you can get on a Punisher using the same kind of stats and no bullseye.
Yeah,
better repair.
That's one of the things.
Go on, sure.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why I was pushing everyone to get the Tideseeker, because it's the ease at which it's going to be available. It is also not going to be available this raid. So if anyone's expecting to see it in the raid as a raid prize, it will not be in the raid as a raid prize. This is it. This is where you get it.
I'm assuming
the Harlock Tide Seeker will be in the raid, but the regular Tide Seeker is only available in this team.
Okay.
And the regular one's the one that you really want to use for. I mean, so far that we know for these types of things,
So
it's very
if
versatile.
people missed out on the Tie Seeker this time round, they're waiting for the whole store raid, aren't they? Which is in December, is that right?
We don't know if it's going to be.
I'm not sure that the whole store is going to have it because
I was going to say it's a bit early to
be
comment.
months.
Yeah, it's
Getting
too
mind that,
new.
for example, the last whole store there were no vendettas for the same reason. They were too recently, likely was the Vanquisher. I think only the Revenge got in there.
Yeah, because they were too new.
Yeah, and I think that with the ease that you get this hull, I just can't see. I can't see people passing on this hull. I mean, this is one of the few times that you see a hull on the first tier of a prize pack rather than the last one.
Exactly.
They reversed it for a reason. I mean, get the damn hull. You know.
I did the whole.
Game changer for people that are a little bit behind the wall.
I'm not sure what you just said, but I did the whole campaign on auto, so I mean, I had fun.
You bastard.
What I'm saying about the Tie Seeker is basically a game changer for, say, mid-tech players. Low-tech players, did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
For
definitely a game changer.
It will be a game changer. So what we're all trying to say is, the first thing that is, get the whole.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Darren, in your alliance, how many people do you have that are like level 70 and below? You have many?
I have a few. I've probably got 15 or so. We've got 76 or 77 in the alliance.
You get this hull?
Absolutely. I'm stressed it too. Well, of course, on all of the hulls, like even the Citadels, I begged the guys to, if they had $20, throw it at it and get it. Yeah. They would get the tag. This hull's the same way. Most of my players have the Apollos, so they've got the ability to get it. The ones that don't get it, it's just going to be out of sheer laziness and not paying attention, to be honest with you.
Well, you find that with any group of people.
There's no excuse to not win the hole, and that's just the fact there. It's so easy to win this hole that there is literally no excuse not to win it. The rest of the components, however, I mean, as George already said, if you can do prize pack 1, you can probably do prize pack 2. Prize pack 3, on the other hand, is a little bit more difficult, especially the last target. I found that the scatterguns were very, very overpowered. I did still do it, mainly just for the tokens, which the tokens were very generous in that area, so it was definitely worth my time.
And I would address that.
Worth the coin.
And I would address that once you are going for the turrets, don't stack the 5 Apollos or 4 Apollos or 3 Apollos you have. It's better if you just use one of them. You put, for example, your fleet of rhinos that you were using in the last raid, or you probably have there holding dust in your docks, and just use that as a tank. One is finished, get back into your base, replace with the other one, and so on. Because I have seen people just go with 3, 4, and 5, and go hitting cluster turret after scattergun. Sorry, after a scattergun, and getting just decimated 3 or 4 times. So it's what is making the last map be so expensive, that people keep stacking them instead of attacking with one and distracting that turret, just getting damage on one of them while the other ones kill it.
Yeah, and
another trick to that, I asked that and I had read, of course, and was going to do it the smart way, and I got through killing all the ships, and I killed the mega hull, and I've got 1 Harlock Apollo or Zoe Apollo and 3 regulars that I run with it, and I thought, what the heck, I'm gonna see how many islands I can knock out. If you drive past those scattergun turrets at the very edge of your range on a 90-degree angle and don't stop, you do not take much damage at all. And with that same Apollo fleet, did not repair from tier 1 of that mission to tier 3 of the last mission, and ended up it was total fleet repair was 14 coins, and I slow repaired it.
Nice, very nice. See, I actually had done it without reading through anything, and just kind of bull rushed it. And I did put up my prize pack 1 and 2 recording. I have prize pack 3, and I'll put it up just so people can laugh, because I did the last one. Like, it is an example of how not to do the last target on Prize Pack 3 because I was like, I was kind of I had separated and I was doing okay, and then I come around the corner and I had kind of I got a little bit of lag and all of them went at the same time and they got nailed. I was like, man, it looked horrible. And I think maybe was it Rum Runner? I think one of them was watching when I was doing it, and I was like, oh man, I look like an idiot now. But I'll put that one up so everyone can laugh at me too.
No, not being funny. It's quite good that you actually do that, because most of the videos we see is people collect videos and they show the best runs, and it's nice to actually see that some of us we all do bad runs. We all do bad runs, don't we?
Right.
But that happens
right.
when
And,
YouTuber in his world. They are not
it is
most
nice
of
to
them
actually
don't
see
put
that,
the
actually.
mistakes.
Well, look,
I don't know what he's talking about. I never do a bad run. I always do.
Oh man, yeah, that's one of the things I try and
Yeah,
avoid when I put stuff
perfectly.
up. I like a lot of people asked when I was putting up some of the stuff with the Howlock Citadel run. They're like, why do you have res capacitor on your Howlock? And I'm like, well, because that's actually what I ran because I use it in my base defense. I'm not going to lie about what's in the fleet. What's the point of that? So I don't clean anything up. I mean, I'll admit it. I mean, if I'm trying something new like the Tide Seeker one, the speed of the Tide Seeker over the Punisher tank was so different. I botched the first one. I took something like an hour and 15 minutes of damage on the first one, and that was just because I absolutely ran into everything. It was one of the worst runs I've ever done. So I'm not going to post.
I did the same.
I'm not going to post my worst one, but I'm also not going to once I got a good time, I wasn't sitting there trying to get it, a million times better. I was like, you know what? That's cool. That shows what the hull can do. Screw it, I'm posting it.
The point I'm trying to get there is, apart from Stu, I think it was, is perfect and just runs every time. But you know where I'm coming from. We all have our, shall we say, idiosyncrasies where we do something and we think, why the hell did I bother doing that? But we see all the good videos. It's nice to see some of the not so good runs, if you like.
Yeah,
I'll
put it up.
What happens when you do get it wrong,
Yeah, if you want to watch it and laugh at me. I mean, here's the thing. It's still, even with the screw up, I didn't have to spend any coin to get the last one done. I actually went back in and grabbed a couple of the hulls and I finished it. But you can definitely see where I screwed up. I mean, it's apparent where I screwed it up. So,
but those kind of videos are more valuable to me than the videos that are put out by people that are perfect drivers.
Exactly.
And the
you see what
recovery yeah, right. But it also you'll notice that a good quality player recovers from their mistakes very quickly. Newer player coming in makes those mistakes, but aren't quite sure how to recover from them, if that makes any sense.
True.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's a good point. All right, so the next thing up then is the Harlock's Tide Seeker. This is the one that is causing a lot of angst, a lot of people that are really upset about this, a lot of people that are really happy about this.
Can I go first?
No, stop. Here's the thing. It's I can see both sides of this argument, but let's be honest. When those subs came into the game, it actually allowed players to dictate which battles they were going to do. Back in the old days, you might get a Seawolf fight against some other piddly thing or whatever, but everyone goes home with some damage. And we used to have massive battles all the time, and that started slowly trickling off, especially when the first sub came into the game, the Predator, because you'd stack something on top of the Predator and try and fake someone to come in and hit you, and subs sucked to fight against. With the Phantoms, you literally could dictate exactly which battle you wanted and catch people. So there's a little bit of a balance coming back with this hull. However, that being said, there are some aspects that are a little bit bad, like the Ghost Crawler community is going to be livid. I can understand why. Also, since we have to have the subs at 100%, I'm not sure if that should not be looked at again now that we have a counter to
repair modifier, perhaps, on the subs. The subs need reducing, because I do believe being a player, if you like, from
But-
a long time ago. All Phantom stuff was sold as you cannot be seen on the map. And
Well, that was an ability of it. That was an ability of it, and the same thing
Right.
with the Enforcer. The ability was that the stacks don't go away, but then we got the Rhino. I mean, it's not. They didn't guarantee that you weren't going to be seen on the map. It's one of the abilities of the hull.
And the
this-
new
that's
ability
a-
on this hull is that Phantom leads can now be spotted.
Right.
And
But only if you have that whole.
I want to
Yeah.
give Stu a chance to actually
Only-
get in here and be first because he's not talking enough for my liking. So Stu, you're first, man. What do you think about the Harlock Tideseeker?
I love it, and that's it. Nah, that's not it. I'm joking. But no, seriously, actually, I do love it because I mean, it's a kind of a plague, really. I mean, the amount of times I get sniped just doing chores because someone's butt hurt, I've hit their base or something like that. You know, it's unreal. But being able to, you know, just click that fleet, make sure there's no phantoms around before I come out of a target, or you know, for instance, if Emery's trying to steal my prepped targets or something like that, I can check first. You know, I mean. It really, I like it. That's all I can say about it. I mean, I've just got my Ghost Crawler as well, so I'm a little bit annoyed that, you know, now I've got my Ghost Crawler, I might get spotted once in a while. Of course, you have to select the fleet to actually be spotted. But it does put an end to a lot of the problems in the game that I've been having, especially with the subs just constantly sniping chore fleets, which is just terrible.
I kind of agree, but I think that after that fleet has been on the map for 30 days or less, I don't think it'll have that big of an impact on the game. People are going to learn to drive their subs.
I mean,
They
well,
drive
we
regular
ninja out of
ships.
targets anyway, don't we, to avoid subs? So now subs are just going to have to ninja out of other targets in case that thing's laying around, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just going to be the same as it was before, except now that subs cannot get the sneak attack on absolutely everything. You know, there'll be someone in the Alliance that will probably have the Harlock Tideseeker on the map telling you if there's a sub fleet waiting for you, which is nice. You know, now you can actually kind of be on a level playing ground with everyone rather than just someone with the Tiger Sharks running around picking off all the fleets. But that's my view on it anyway.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it will help you to see them, but it's not that you are not going to get a snipe because you're not going all the time to be selecting that fleet and only you can see it. It's not that if you have it and everybody on that sector can see them. So if the sub driver is smart enough, it's going to just wait for you to play with the other ones if you are autoing or not, and then they can snipe you if they want. So it's not that it heals the problem or it's a cure for that problem, but, well, it will make life a bit less easy for those that just go there with the Phantom fleets.
Yeah, it's going to leave it open. Like, say you go into another sector with your baser and you don't have your own or your alliance mate who's got a Harlock Tideseeker there. So it does leave that choice or that percentage chance for a sub fleet to tag you. So yeah, it kind of will press the balance towards people who don't are attacking and they want to see if they can get sniped, but the chance is always there of a sub driver to be able to snipe. It's going to work both ways, but yeah, you'll have a lot of people crying about it.
Yeah, but I think it just levels the playing field. You know, if you're running around and that's all you're doing is sniping people, yeah, those that are getting sniped should be able to have a tool that can see them.
Yeah, I think it'll add more. Yeah, it'll add more to the fact battles are fine, but a lot of people lose out because of Forsaken mission target fleets getting sniped or mining fleets getting sniped. Yeah, that's what it's going to more help against. I love if I lose it. I love sniping fleets. It's not always mining fleets. I stay away, but I think this is a welcome addition to the game. I don't have a Ghost Crawler, so
I agree. Yeah.
But is the Harlock going to cloak map? That would be funny.
What do you mean? Do you think you want to know if it's going to cloak on the map?
Tideseeker.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be close.
No,
You'll
no.
be able to see it.
That
It
would just
won't.
be the complete opposite to what I just said. That won't put us on a fair level. of balance.
Then you need another high seeker to see the high seeker that is hiding.
That would be an oxymoron.
We'll end up with a whole bunch of fleets on the map trying to spot one fleet.
But you know, and the thing is too that you have to remember, you can't see the subs. Just having it on the map is not going to show all the phantoms. You
Right,
actually
you
have
need to
have
select
it
it.
selected. Yeah.
And even if you do have it, you can't take an attack with a different fleet.
Yeah, you
So-
need to use that fleet to attack.
You have to use that fleet to attack, and I mean, at least from what we saw in the video from GD Rankin. So
Yeah, I mean, if you are having a dedicated fleet, you can't swap for somebody else and let somebody else attack it. That's fair enough, you know. You've got to be the
Yeah, I
actual
think so.
attacker. If you've got the Tide Seeker, you can't like go. There's a sub fleet, take a whole sub fleet, killing fleet in there and kill it. The person with the Tide Seeker
Yeah,
is the only person that can actually engage in that submarine.
yeah, and at the end of the day, with a new TIE Seeker or not, if the guy that is driving his Phantom Fleet is not leaving it idle, he's not going to get any trouble, because in this game it's not likely the other one Vega, in which they can intercept you while you are moving on the map. In this one, you have to be stopped and they have to be able to select you they can engage you. So it's not that a huge problem.
This also will be a reverse, like previously in raids when you're using a flagship that can be seen. You come out of a raid target and you get sniped by subs. Now, say you have a Phantom Hellroth with 4 Hellroths and you're inside a target, you could actually have someone sitting outside waiting with a Harlock Tide Seeker. You finish your target and you get jumped.
Yeah,
That's going to
how
add
it's
a new
funny.
dynamic.
That's the idea beyond it anyway.
yeah,
It's
but
going to
isn't
add
that
a new
just
dynamic, even the base hitting to the game, where you can team up with somebody to see where the guys are waiting to snipe you, and add, where a couple of players can go smash bases, and have the guy with the Tide Seeker fleet to take out the subs, instead of getting sniped when you're coming out of the bases.
Well, that makes the game, in my opinion, much more fun. I mean, that now brings
Absolutely.
an element of teamwork into basic, which is something that I've craved for a long time. I mean, it's boring going out during the Monday morning and filling your quota by yourself, and maybe you get 3 bases down the line and someone snags your fleet. It might be due to lag, or you might get double bat or something. But having a teammate there beside you now, maybe you're on TeamSpeak or some kind of voice channel, and he's telling you, hey, there's 3 Phantom fleets outside that base without heart. It adds to the fun.
Absolutely.
You'll have to map out of target battles in the raid when you're in with subs now. That'll be fun.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot. People got if this Tide Seeker lead flagship comes out, subs are not going to be left on the map. You can't afford to do it, not unless you do something with a repair modifier.
Yeah, there are going to be people around at the beginning, just gonna wake up in the morning and they're gonna find 5 dead sub fleets.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Although I don't know, Emery, is this going to interrupt your stealing of targets during raid?
I hope it does.
Probably not this raid, but the next raid could be more difficult.
I'll tell you, I will coin it and find what sector he's in, and I will sink every fleet.
I'm not going to be present with my subs in my sector looking for targets.
Yeah,
I don't care. I'll find
sectors
you.
for you to check.
You can't hide subs now. I'll find you.
Emery's gonna try and hide now. That's gonna be
So
interesting. That's another aspect.
100
That's
sectors,
another aspect.
6 track bases everywhere. Good luck finding me.
I'll find someone with ad blocker and hide seeker or whatever it is.
That's what I say.
So here's the thing, like, all right, Wolf, Natu, I don't know which way you want me to call you, but I know that you do like sniping a lot, but you're okay with the introduction of this all?
Me?
Yes.
Yep, definitely. I like it on both aspects. Ability to look at subs and it'll be more of a challenge when if I'm trying to snipe, and you just got to keep moving.
Interesting. 'cause
Exactly.
I think
Everyone's on the same playing field. It's more of a challenge for the PvPers and the snipers and stuff like that. I mean, I really do think that this introduction will make the game a lot more fun in terms of PvP and that. You're actually worried now for the first time in ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more than, or rather than crying and whining about it, I think since it's something that's going to be implemented, I would look at it as a challenge, something new, something more fun. And because if they're going to implement something, no point, like they'll cry and bitch in forums. That's not going to change it. So might as well take it up as a challenge and enjoy it. I think it'll be a new dimension to the game, and in time, people will like it.
One of the first things I told to my alliance was that a lot of the little guys in my alliance get sniped constantly, and they're still learning to drive, of course. But this is going to be perfect for somebody like me that finishes everything. As soon as it's out, I'm done with it. But to be able to work with my guys and watch for them while I teach them to do the Forsaken missions, to do their weeklies, and keep them from getting hit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm surprised at how many people are actually for this.
I'm definitely for it.
Yeah. I'm definitely. I guess that many people has been sniped once or twice in this game. Also, for everybody that wants to get revenge now, it's their time.
Yeah, I see Laredo is going to be going hunting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love sniping. I snipe every day. I hit at least 2-3 bases a day, and then snipe 10, 15 fleets if I can. I love it. But I love this hole.
Are we
hole
brothers?
is really awesome. Probably. I love this hole. And for the same reason that Walthall said there, I'm going to get it. I'm going to coin this as soon as I get it, because I want to be able to watch over my guys that get sniped on the raids, doing their FMs, doing their mining. I just wanted to help them. So I'm going to coin this hole as soon as I get it. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to have fun.
Yep.
I think it'll be reverse sniping with this hull.
Yeah, because I believe that a lot of the snipers are going to become snipees.
Yep,
exactly.
The hunters are going to become the hunted. That's going to be an interesting little twist.
I think we'll have to adapt and start hunting subs rather than using subs to hunt them.
And the one person I want to target first is Templar. He's got 5 ghost subs. I want to go hunt all of them down.
Did he actually build all 5 of them?
Yeah, he built all 5.
Oh my goodness.
So I want to hunt him down first. Take them all out. I know he's listening.
All right. Well, we're coming up to the close of the hour, so I just want to see. I do have one thing I want to point out before I let everyone start bringing up anything that they have. I wanted to spend some time on that Tide Secret because I think that is one of those things that, every once in a while we talk about player retention and player engagement, and I think the Tide Seeker is a good step towards that for mid-level and low-level players. Get your guys, anyone that's watching or has smaller players in their alliance, encourage them to get the Tide Seeker because it will open up so many different avenues for them to play in this game. They're going to enjoy the game again if they're kind of wobbly about it. I think it's fantastic for the FM. You can get base parts. There's all sorts of things that you can do with this one hull. And, with one hull, I think if the test server was any indication, I think you'll be able to do grind out beat targets with just one if you build it with the first tokens that you get in prize pack 1 and 2. So I like it. I love that. I wanted to make sure, I covered that again because I really think it's very important for people to get this hull, especially if you're a mid or low level player. So end of the hour. Anyone got anything that they would like to cover or bring up or ask or query?
One thing I'd like to throw out there, the Golden Nexus has been postponed until Monday. So don't pull a me and look for an hour and a half for the damn things because they're not there yet.
I swear to God, if this conversation moves on to mega holes, I will drop.
I'll shut up after that.
Stu,
All
you
right,
have
thank
to.
you.
You're the only other admin. You
Why
have
do
to-
you say that? The rumor says you have 2 instead of 1.
Who has 2?
Sorry, what?
Stu has 2 mega holes instead of 1, so that's what the rumors say, and then he says case them.
Oh, he has the bigger mega tool already, huh?
I don't have the mega hole or gantry or whatever built yet. I probably will get into it at some point, but the
Well,
conversation at mega hole just bores me.
Speaking of my mega hole, it's sitting in Hive Rex.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun once you learn how to use it.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a go at some point, at some time. But
We'll convert
right
Stu.
now, it's just every time someone brings it up because I don't have it, I'm just like, oh.
We're gonna convert Stu eventually.
Yeah, we should do.
Well,
Anything
guys,
else, guys?
I don't think any time soon, will it? To be honest.
No,
Right.
probably not.
Okay, we're nearly on the hour, guys. Has anybody got anything they want to finish off with? I've left it obviously pretty quiet, to be honest, at the moment. I've been 2 doors down at a dinner party this evening, so I've been up and down the road twice. So there's dedication. Okay, I keep making excuses to leave. I've just come back in for the last 5 minutes, and they have no idea. So there we go. Things you do for TFC. Right.
Yeah.
Okay then. So have we got any subjects? Because I've got 3 minutes. We can do an after show as well if you want to, but somebody else has to lead that as well. Otherwise, my guts will be for garters. Any other things you want to talk about whilst we're here?
No, I'm actually excited for this raid.
I think this raid's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it, I must admit. Clearly, there'll be a bit of an update coming this week as well. We've got a rough idea what's coming. I'm looking forward to getting the hole. I've got lots of good ideas of it, both inside and potentially outside my base. No, bro, she's not best happy. My bro's in chat there saying, I bet the wife's happy. No, she's not, but there we go. But yeah, looks good. Looks like it's going to be good fun, I think, to be honest. I think everyone should have something for this raid. You know, you've got options there. You can use your hell race, which is my plan as well. But obviously, if you've got the new holes as well built, I've got a couple of them done, then obviously you can auto some other things at the same time, which is going to be nice. Or if you're really bad at driving subs, or you can't stack, which was a huge problem last time for some people I know because of the lag factor, then there's another option. But obviously, we know you're going to get some guaranteed damage. So, apart from that, it's good. So before I log out, I just want to say thanks to obviously Stu and George, because he just carried me for 45 minutes basically while I ran away and did other things, stuffed a dessert down my face basically, and tried to be sociable. So I'll say thanks. Listen on Tuesday. Obviously, we'll have the normal weekly update, and we'll say good night.
Good night,
Good show,
everyone.
guys.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
All the best. Thanks for joining in, guys, and thanks in chat.
Uh-huh.